Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome in to the Tasman Racing League Oval Series. It's Season 1, and we're back at it for Round 2 at Charlotte, the Oval. I believe it's the 2025 Oval. John, you'll correct me later on if I'm wrong. My name is George Cooke, and both myself and John Wright are going to be here from TrackSpotTV, bringing you all the broadcasting tonight. Go check us out, www.trackspot.tv. 10-minute quali is underway out at the circuit with 44% humidity, but it's 22 degrees Celsius out there, partly cloudy with an 11-kilometer-an-hour wind, high banking corners here. And to tell us all about it, and of course during the 100-lap feature race today, it is my partner in crime. It is John Wright.
Good evening, folks. How are we all doing? Thank you very much, George. Yeah, very much looking forward to this one. After the super speedway shenanigans we saw last week, the drivers very much on a fuel-saving mission. Well, this week, folks, it's all about those tyres. That's right. We are now down to 1.5 miles, 24 to 26 degree banking in the corners. We've got a 5-degree banking, a rather generous 5-degree banking on the straightaways. And, of course, that double kink left on the start-finish straight, he says in air quotes. This one's going to be 100 laps. We can definitely expect a couple of yellow flags during this one. It is the nature of these shorter courses. That banking, it really can catch you out, especially when you're in the slipstream. Something the drivers won't be used to at the moment. They're all out on track doing their own thing in qualifying. But of course, when these cars get together and start getting in a straight line, as we've seen at Daytona, 20 to 30 km/h difference in speed. That makes a difference when you are clocking around the circle, 1.5 miles long, but of course less than a mile end to end. If you take the full length of the course, because of that banking and those banked corners at the end, George, it's going to be another absolutely fascinating affair, and we're going to see again how it plays out under yellow flags, who decides to take their pit stops when. I was saying to George, though, and he woke in for him, I do think that under yellow flags, we'll still see another couple of incidents, maybe cars coming together, because the back tyres on these things, keeping them up to temp, it's not easy around these corners, and especially along that start-finish straight, George. We are in for another absolute barn burner tonight.
We certainly are, and yeah, I mean, even in practice, I saw people struggling with the banking. So as John said, we are most likely going to end up seeing a few accidents under pace car today. Here are your championship standings after one round. Of course, Damien Coates, the winner after an incredible finish to the Daytona race last week. It was a bit of an interesting one, let's put it that way. A couple of crashes right at the end sent Buhaja all the way back to second, and Bleakley found his way through as well after having contact with Georgeson. In fact, all of them were having contact pretty much all the way through the race. So it is Coates in first place on 102 points for Wright Rear Racing. Lewis Buhaja for Hybrid Simsport on 93 points, followed by Chris Bleakley for 1-9 on 85 points. Then it's Jordan Nelson, our privateer, on 76 points. Came a little bit out of the woodwork last time out, but as a result of the incidents, finds its way up to 4th. Nick Burling, another privateer, 68 points to his name in 5th place overall. 6th was, of course, Wade Georgeson, who had that late accident with 420 Oz Racing, 59 points for him, followed by Lucas Blake, our glorious admin and leader here at the TRL. For Wright Rear Racing, I believe his brother is actually joining us today on track. Fantastic to see the brotherly love. Will they work together, or will they come to blows? 50 points to his name. Then it's Ryan Llewellyn for Llewellyn, I should say. Correct me if I'm wrong, that is right. Black Cobra Motorsports on 43 points, followed by Kelvin Clark for One Name Racing on 33 points. Then it's Jason Hutchins, Nicholas Heath, Matthew Searle, and Tom Williams rounding out the grid. We are about 45 seconds away to getting onto the grid and getting things going in this race, John. Give us some predictions out there. Coates, maybe get lucky again today.
He might. I think Lewis Buhaja is going to be the one to watch. He finished on the podium. He was dominant, it's safe to say, last week, and it might just have been a Daytona thing, because of course the road race is tomorrow, and in last week's road race he won it at a canter. I watched that broadcast. I believe it was 14 seconds he had over the rest of the field. He was in an absolute league of his own. I think Buhaja, for me, on just quickly based on those two performances, I think he has got to be favourite every single race that we go into, and for me, he's going to be the one to watch today.
Excellent. Right, well, I believe that qualifying has just finished. So we're going to make our way over to track now and get things going because it is time to begin. I'll tell you what, that is a very, very interesting little thing happening with our UI. We will get that fixed up in a moment, and we'll see you out there on the race. Okay, here we are, and I tell you, there's still a few interesting things going on with our HUD. We will get that fixed up in a short moment's time. But I tell you what, this is looking to be a great race, nice and hot out there today. And the cars will be getting themselves gridded up in a few moments' time. Let's try and get our grid up on screen. And there it is. Unfortunately, still a little bit of an overlay problem going on. In fact, we will try and fix that before we go through today's grid. Bring that up. We will hide this, and we will then show this again. No, that's still deciding to be a little bit of a pain. So we will do our best to reset that, ladies and gentlemen. For now, let's go through the grid. It is Lucas Blake on top. So he has found his way back up with a 29.745, followed by Phantom Sim Sports' Tom Williams. So he had a bit of a shocker out last time, but he's back in it, and second place is a great place to be starting this race. He'll lead up the upper line of cars. Then it's Boone Blake, the brother of Lucas Blake, followed by Jack Kelly Reid in fourth position, only 0.2 of a second behind, but it's quite a distance at a track like this. Kelvin Clark in fifth place, followed by Wade Georgeson. Ryan Llewellyn, the number 45 car, is in seventh place on the fourth row of the grid. With him is Nicholas Heath, our privateer. Damien Coates, our race winner from round one, finds himself down in ninth position, followed by Cliff Potter. And then further down the grid, we have Jason Hutchins for 420 Oz Racing, the number 91 car in 11th, followed by Daniel Hutchins, Nick Burling in 13th position, Chris Bleakley in 19th, and then Jordan Nelson in the number 63. So we will get this reset, and we do have tech support in chat as well. So tech support can probably help us and tell us what is going on out on track right now, because this UI is looking rather interesting as we now head away and begin our formation lap. We will try and reset our HUD. So let's try and do that right now. Tell you what, John, this is going to be a good start. And Lucas Blake on pole, excellent place for him to be beginning this race.
It is a good start, and of course I've just realised that Buhaja not in the race. So he definitely won't be favourite to win this one. But certainly Blake up at the front, and interestingly, we've got two drivers called Blake. Apologies, folks at home. I've got a little bit of a bug as well, so you'll hear a bit of a strain in the voice, but we're going to crack on. This is going to be 100 laps of absolute adrenaline. We've got some brotherly love, or do we, out on track, as George mentioned. We've got a couple of Blakes in, and we've got a couple of Hutchins in as well, and I believe Williams. So good to see the brothers making an appearance. As George said, it'll be interesting to see whether they work together or whether that sibling rivalry ends up shining through. You never know, you never know. The drivers on their formation lap at the moment, of course, behind the pace car, as you can see there, beautifully. We're going to go 2 by 2, 13 drivers in this week as well. We're missing a couple from last week, so yeah, hopefully getting a good grid next week. There you can see that now. There is the corner I'm talking about. Look at the way you come off that bank in. You're going to be side by side. It's green, green, green. They are away and they're not overtaking on the inside. Remember, you can't overtake on the bottom line as we go. Flying across the start-finish line. That's a beautiful start by a pole sitter. He's got himself a good run. So too, second place, holding on to it very well indeed. That is Williams, who is on the outside now. He's keeping a very high line there. That is going to do wonders for his tyres in the opening lap. Not so much for the pace, but Blake behind him, not managing to get as much of a run as he would have hoped. But certainly Blake leading the way. Lucas is not looking back. If he is looking back, it's certainly not an anger as he leads his way. Leads the way. End of lap number 1 already. That's 1.5 miles done and dusted. It's Blake, Williams, Blake, Johnson, Kelly, Reid and Clark rounding out the top 6. And I'll tell you what, it's Lucas Blake. He's looking to do a Lewis Bahaja at Daytona Road Course here. He is absolutely flying away. It's completely unsustainable to be out on your own up at the front, as we're actually watching his brother Blake, who's in a bit of a no man's land at the minute, trying to catch up to the group ahead. And you can see, in fact, Blake and Williams, they have come together up at the front. They've not come together, they are very close. Williams looking to put the pressure on. He's picking up that pace, and I'll tell you what, he has joined Lucas Blake up at the front of the field, and that's exactly what the two of them need. And there's an example of the banking. Doesn't matter how accurate or how good you are on the steering. The first few times around in the slipstream, it really is a learning experience trying to find where the grip is on the track and where exactly, how fast you can go while in the slipstream. That's why we saw Williams sort of almost bounce out with the slipstream. And I tell you what, they've gone side by side again, George. Oh, that's the start-finish line. I thought that was a stationary car there. My heart stopped for a moment. So now it's 3 up at the front. Ooh, now, and it's Williams that's taking the lead. So Williams has gone around outside, and Lucas Blake in the real steel machine, taking second place. And it's now his brother he's got behind him. Interesting times afoot. Johnson, Clark, Heath all making good starts. Llewellyn up a position as well, I believe. And he's just lost it back. So him and Blakely. Llewellyn's tumbling down the order. Llewellyn, I think, has had himself a bit of an incident. He has absolutely tumbled down to the back of the order. Potter as well has got a meatball flag. Potter has got a meatball, so he is going to be coming in to the pits, and Llewellyn has only just crossed the start-finish line, so he's picked up some damage. We'll get a look at that. Oh, Burling with a meatball as well. We've got 2 meatballs out on track anymore. We'll have a full subweight, because I'll tell you what, that's going to be tricky getting back into the pits with them. Williams at the front of the field sets a sub 30-second lap all on his own. His tyres are going to be absolutely cooked very soon indeed. We've got Blake still in second. There we can see cars pulling in and out of the pits. That is smoke coming out. That was from the pit lane. I thought that was from the back of Blake's car there. But it is not. Bravely down onto the paint. There's Burling into the pit lane. He's made it in. Potter's still out. There's Potter in the pits. Oh, you. A little bit of a touch there. Sorry, George. Yeah, I'm talking away while you're working on some technical stuff in the background. Are you good to join us at the moment, or are you still working away in the background? It looks like background work for you at the minute.
We are still working away, so apologies, ladies and gentlemen, for the overlay issues that have suddenly randomly cropped up. Everything that I do seems to not be working, but John is taking us away beautifully, so I'm going to say keep going for now, and I will do my utmost to keep us in the action as we see Heath in a massive battle here.
Whoa, yes, he is indeed. Oh, you mean I get to do this all myself? Oh, goodness gracious me. Such a tough life that I've got. But let's crack on. We've got Heath and Clark, as George said. Absolutely pressing there. And he will indeed be giving it the full. Excellent. Sorry, that was a terrible Mr. Burns impression. I've been so excited all morning about doing that. It was really, really, really bad. I'll see myself out, race fans. But yeah, no, he's seen his way through on the bottom line there, the number 10, Heath. Getting himself a very, very good run past Clark. We've got a couple of cars have come out the pits. Burling and Potter both out and running. Llewellyn has had an incident. He did not pick up enough damage to get a meatball, but he is running that little bit slower. And up at the front of the field, Williams is doing what I said Blake. I didn't think Blake would be able to do. He absolutely is. He's running a second ahead of the rest of the field on his own, with Blake and Blake in the slipstream tucked in still at second and third. Lucas still holding the bragging rights at the moment. We'll see how that looks 90 laps from now. We've got Kelly Reid and Johnson fourth and fifth still. Kelly Reid actually got himself a bit of a gap back to that chasing pack, then no gap for Johnson. He's got Blakely, Heath, Clark, as we can see, tucked firmly into his slipstream. Just trying to move in and out again. It's all about the tyre saving. It's interesting to see in an oval race how little sometimes the drivers will slipstream around here, because that extra pace you carry into this very short course banking is an absolute nightmare at times. We've got an even shorter course. I was going to talk about Las Vegas, which isn't on the card. But next up is Iowa.
Okay. You sound a little bit excited about it, which I'm not surprised about at all.
Yeah, it's half the length of this course.
Oh my goodness. So what, we're looking at, 15-second laps on that?
Something along those lines, yeah, about 27 seconds a lap. You very rarely have got your foot absolutely pinned to the floor. You're constantly steering. It is just an absolute dream of a course to watch. Don't know about racing it. I've never been quite brave enough. We've still got these brave drivers out. That's already 10 laps into the race. And I'll tell you what, Williams is doing an absolutely phenomenal job out of the front there. He is not only managing the gap, he's actually increasing it. He is on his own at 1.2 seconds ahead of the Blake brothers. They've still got him well in sight, and they're still within about half a second of one another, but not much to doing in the way of slipstreaming. Again, this could well be a tyre strategy because as you can imagine, throwing the cars into this 24-degree banking and trying to maintain that speed, not the easiest thing to do, George.
No, to be honest, it's given me a lot of respect for what these guys are actually doing out on track. Because, you know, from a road driver's perspective, which is where I predominantly do my work, this looks rather easy. No. I have learned a lot in the last couple of hours of doing broadcasting in round one. And I tell you what, there's a lot of hard work going out there. Lucas Blake obviously still in second place, the number 1 driver, and his brother not coming to blows yet, but not working together. That sounds like a pretty typical brotherly relationship at this point. By the way, we've got Miss Bassett in chat, welcoming, saying shout out to Wade, Ramjam, and Jason. Also, good luck to Daniel Hutchins for his first race. So Daniel Hutchins, the number 5 car, who is part of that battle that we had in there. Now, I thought we had Hutchins from last race, but maybe we did not. So you can look there for the M&M's library. We had Jay Hutchins. There we go. And I believe also brothers.
Apologies. I do have a bit of a tickle. We're going to crack on. But yes, Hutchins, they are brothers. 3 sets of brothers potentially in the race. 2 of them appearing today. Do love me some M&Ms. I've always got a bag of those in the freezer for... Oh, Mercy purposes, he's lost it. He saved it.
Wow.
And there we go, race fans. That beautifully highlights just how difficult oval racing can be at these shorter circuits. And this is only classed as an intermediate banking. This is only 24 degrees. Wait until we get up to something like 30 degrees at Iowa, 33 degrees. Woo! I think the WWE wrestlers would declare at that point. If we jump up on the 7th place, actually, Jorson, Heath and Blakely is an interesting little battle that's going on. Blakely is leading the way, but you can see Jorson just biding his time, and again, runs that wide. Now, Jorson for me is running a very, very, very good race at the moment. He's getting in the slipstream on the straights, and he's taking the higher line, less pressure on the tyres as he takes that higher line. So he is going for the long strat here. He's realising there's very little likelihood of an incident until about another 12 laps or so when the tyres start to drop off, because the driver's being very strategic at the moment. His Coates has a bit of a bump down in 11th. He is still running. But yeah, so Jordan is sitting just off the back here, and you think, oh, should he not be getting close? Should he not be getting close? Well, no, he's running the high line. He's saving the tyres. He's letting the 2 drivers ahead cut through the air and have their little duel for that bottom line. You can see he's actually got Georgeson, who's catching on to that number 1 strat, and Georgeson and Clark, Clark is catching up to Georgeson, and they 2 look like they're running. But see, for me at this stage, does he need to be down on that inside line to carry enough pace on the exit to stay in the slipstream? I don't think he does, personally, but I commentate. I'm a disaster of a racer, so I did think it was cute the way George said he's usually a track racer, that's where he's done his work. Haven't seen George drive, no work involved. Absolute shade. George is a phenomenal driver. He is considerably better than I could ever hope to be, but I do like throwing shade his way every time we get the opportunity. In fact, yeah, perfect timing, George. He's got the absolute eye for it. Williams and Blake up at the front. The brotherly love didn't come to fruition. Lucas has thought, yeah, sorry, little bro, you're a bit too slow. I'm going to go nip back and take the lead of the race. Oh, and we can see what it's like on the outside line when you're carrying too much pace there, George. Williams wiggling the back end furiously, and Blake takes the lead after a code brown from Williams.
Crikey, that's a scary moment there for Williams, but he's held on beautifully. I mean, this has gone so much better for him so far. As we see Damien Coates come into the pits, he's already quite far behind in the race, unfortunately, nearly a lap down as Nick Burling is at the moment. But that was a great overtake. And look, this is going to bring J. Kelly Reid into the... Oh, there we go.
Oh,
Williams has nearly lost it completely. Crikey. That was unbelievable. This is exactly what I was seeing in the practice session. I'm sure we've seen a few people of that do it in qualifying as well. But that 95 car, what is that telling us, John? Is it the tyres? Is he pushing it too hard?
He's run the start of his stint too quick. He's been on the low line. He's chewed through those outside tyres, and he is now struggling to carry the pace he once carried through the corners, and the back end is just going to keep lifting out. Oh my goodness, how did he keep that out of the wall? Yeah, so my apologies again. My lack of talent led me to declare he's lost it. If I was in that position, I can assure you I'm already into the pits for 99 minutes of damage repair. But no, he's managed to hold on to that. That's why he's up at the front of the field. And that has, well, it's put, quite frankly, the fear of God in terms, because the gap is now 2.3 seconds and is increasing. Williams is off the accelerator. End of story. Blake has played this middle phase, the middle phase of the opening stint, to an absolute blinder. He's let Williams run away with it. He's looked after his tyres. Williams is now, as I say, absolute fear of God to get the foot down, and we can see the gap there. It's now at 2.5 seconds, and it is increasing through every corner as the rest of the field start to catch back up. Now, this is the perfect place to be, because Heath Blake and Kelly Reid, we'll see how they got on with their tyres. It looks like Clark and Johnson didn't quite manage their tyres the way that I thought they were trying to. Clark has got past Johnson. He's up to 7th place, and we are now full single file. Hutchins is in. Daniel Hutchins into the pits. So he is going to come back out behind Coates. Will he still be ahead of Burling? Burling and Potter, both of those came in, of course, for meatballs about 7 laps in. Meatball flag, by the way, for anyone that is new, is a black flag with an orange meatball in the middle, orange circle in the middle, and FU. Oh.
We have had a crash. It does look like it is Jordan Nelson has had a big crash, and that has brought out a big yellow flag. And I'm guessing we may be seeing a pace car come out as well. We'll try and catch that on replay. Here we go. Oh, there it is. Oh, my goodness. He has been absolutely side-twisted into the wall there, the 63. And I'm not sure who else was right next to him there. I think that might have been... No, I can't tell. But he has reset himself to the pits because that was an almighty accident.
Indeed, yeah. Jordan Nelson there finding out the hard way. Not finger looking good for the KFC car, and he is instantly. You can see there the little yellow dot, the black flag next to his name. That is the meatball demanding he return to the pit because the car is unsafe. Lucas Blake has a drive-through penalty for violating speed limits on his way in to the pits.
Oh my goodness. Well, I was talking to Lucas Blake a little bit earlier on, and I tell you, he was pumped for this one. He's a previous race winner here. He loves this circuit. And to get that as he finds himself in first position, goes into the pits, and this is going to be costly for him, I tell you what, especially, John, with the field so tightly bunched up.
Yeah, the field, I mean, they're obviously not as close as they looked on track at Daytona, but that field is still on top of one another at this stage, all things considered, with tyres, fuel, things like that. And that's why they've all come into pit now. 27 laps in, you've got a decent bit of usage out of your tyres. They can maybe go a few laps longer, but get them changed now. You're what is the correct expression I'm looking for here? It's not monkey see, monkey do, but yeah, you're better to cover off the possibility of the rest of the field coming in. So they've all come in to take on fresh tyres. It's going to be an absolute monster restart, and Lucas Blake is now going to have to go full Days of Thunder if he's going to manage to win this race. The traffic being put back into order. That's why Williams letting the rest of the field back. I believe it is Burling that is going to get a joker lap. Or it might be Daniel Hutchins, in fact.
Yes.
Yes, so he is the lead driver that's been lapped, so he will get a joker lap. He will get put back on to the lead lap. Nelson with a meatball flag. Potter with a black flag for speeding in the pit lane. And of course, our race leader, Lucas Blake. He's, it's just, sorry John, it's not often I'm left completely speechless at the potential parameters for a race, but Blake picking up a drive-through from P1, it's wild. It's just...
Well, not only is it wild, but look, he's in second place. It's his brother. I mean, he's picked up a penalty and essentially handed this race to his brother, but he can work together with him now, although I say that, and Kelly Reid, of course, then reshuffles I believe, into the correct position. So Mr. B. Blake will move back to 3rd position, but he's right there. He's in the pack, and they're going to be ready to go. Of course, defending Charlotte winner here in Season 0, our lead-up season, Lucas Blake for Wright Rear Racing, who is in the lead at the moment. Last race winner, of course, Damien Coates. And I tell you, the Blake versus Buhaja race is what I was really keen to see tonight. Unfortunately, Buhaja not on tonight at all, so he's going to be rejoining us hopefully for round 3. Same with Matthew Searle, not able to come back at the moment. I don't think he's upset with Oval Racing, but I think he's going to be back. Just can't make it tonight. Other contenders to look at, obviously, tonight, Nicholas Heath and Kelvin Clark. And Kelvin Clark is in 6th position at the moment. That's not a bad place to be, in all honesty, in a group like this.
Indeed, yeah, it's a very good place to be. And of course, we do need to give a big shout out to Chris Blakely, one of the favourites for the race, completely underlooked by myself. He's up 10 spots, a quarter of the way in. That's not too bad again. There is the green lights. We are away, and Lewis Blake. We've got another 2 cars that have come into the pits. Potter is in the pit lane. Blake has stayed out though. So Blake is going to stay out, and he's going to get at least 1 lap out in front before he comes in to take that pit stop. Kelly Reid looking for an inside line. And in fact, Blake is up at the front. Oh, that's a very high line there for the number 10. Almost losing some paint early doors. That's not the way you want to start your first flying lap after a cool down. The vast majority of the field, of course, on those fresh tyres. Yeah, that's Blake coming into pits. So that is Blake diving out early. That is where the pit entrance is. I told you, George. There's oval racing isn't as straightforward as a lot of people think it is. Those pit entrances.
I might have got the Blakes mixed up as I was looking at the timing tab. I'm completely honest with you.
Yeah. But yeah, so it is now brother Blake who is leading the way. I wonder what sort of mental state he's in at the moment. His brother's one of the favourites to win the race, and he is now leading comfortably with a group of 4 scrapping away behind him, George. Not a bad position to be in this stage of the race.
No, and with a 0.5 second gap as well. I mean, you're in the box seat. His brother's now down in 11th place as the number 1 driver. That is Lucas Blake down into 11th position and in the pits as we see Williams wants a piece of the action. He's going to take the fight to Blakely. Blakely, of course, 3rd position finish out at Daytona last week. Him and the 18 and 17 cars all working together. No 18 car out there today. That's Buhaja, of course. So he's not on the field, and that means that only Damien Coates and the number 19 currently representing that team. But I tell you what, that was a pretty scary moment. Here comes Nicholas Heath. Nicholas is right in the box seat, as we do see. I think that was Kelly Reid just nipping the barrier there, John. Got to be so careful. The barriers come up on you so quickly in a circuit like this.
Oh, they absolutely do. I mean, yeah, at one point we'll definitely get a full on-board lap for one of these drivers so you can see just how quickly the barriers appear, and literally changes the entire pitch and tone of my voice. It's a very good strategy around here as well. If you are, I mean, look at the level.
I would like to hear that. There's both the broadcaster and your co-commentator.
Oh, there we go. Indeed, yeah, he's gone full Michael Jackson. Goes from Michael Jackson to Barry White in the space of 1 lap. It is absolutely incredible. Down on the inside line, but you can see here, they come out, the banking levels up, and there is the wall. Hello. It just says a quick hello across the start finish straight. Again, in full air quotes, because there's nothing straight about that apart from the couple of 100 yards, barely even a couple of 100 yards. But yeah, so another good strategy for this type of course, folks, is if you are working with a team, you get yourself out at the front, you lead your way into the corner, and on the corner exit, you suddenly take the high line, or at entrance, there you go, you take the high line, you let the faster cars below go through, and then you join onto the back. So this is a different type of teamwork that is needed, rather than these long super speedway courses like we saw last week, and we'll see again, of course, at Indianapolis. Very different strategy here. And that is how you save tyres. You let the faster car, if you want to work with the driver behind you, the way you would signal that is move up to the high line, let them take the low line, go in front, and then you swap over. It equals out the tyre wear, is where I was going with that one. And I saw something slightly different with Georgeson. He was at the back of the pack. He was on his one-man tyre-saving mission himself, but up at the front at the moment is Williams and Blake that are battling out for the league, but it's not Lucas Blake. He's in 12th position. He is behind Hutchins and Coates. who are 10th place. They're a lap down. Llewellyn in 9th, still on the lead lap and still very close as we see another car exiting the pits, Burlin and Nelson. Now, of course, NASCAR rules are applied here. If you are the slower car, you must move to the high line to let the pack through. That, of course, changes slightly when you're exiting the pits, because you do, in fact, of course, exit the pits into the bottom lane. So don't do anything crazy there. So that's why we saw the pitting car stay on the bottom line. We've got F1 Fix 85. Hello, and Miss Bassett as well. Welcome into you both. Ram Jam, Miss Bassett, if you don't mind me asking. Who is Ram Jam?
I believe that is Potter.
Is that one of the teams? Sorry.
No,
Cliff
it's
Potter.
I believe it's his nickname. Yeah, I think that's his nickname. So Cliff Potter, aka Ram Jam. We'll let Miss Bassett just confirm that to us in chat before my memory issues come to light. But welcome into chat.
I heard these brothers magic at going quickly around here.
It's incredible. Chasing after that snitch all day long. Wow. It is. I got it, and we continue that one on.
So embarrassed
for a brief moment before we rapidly move on to another topic. Of course, you are watching Tasman Racing League. You're on lap 39 out of 100 here at the Charlotte Oval. Beautiful place to come racing in North Carolina. It is beautiful weather out there today, and it is daytime as opposed to the nighttime race we had at Daytona. You're watching on TrackSpotTV with John Wright and myself, George Cooke, in the commentary box. And of course, check us out, www.trackspot.tv. You can also check out and get involved in Tasman Racing League by checking them out on simracerhub.com. And wow, that was a close one there. They are working together, John, but it's getting a little spicy.
It is, yes. We saw a couple of incidents last week because of side draft. It definitely is a thing that works well in these cars, but you've got to time it properly, because especially Blakely and Heath, both working well together behind as well. They're spending more time doing exactly what I was talking about, going back in front of one another, and one goes high, one stays low, and then the swap over. Is Blake just going to regret? Yeah, is he going to regret being on that inside line for so long? Williams should theoretically be doing all right on the tyres, depending on how much pace he's carrying. But you can see the corner exit, he comes absolutely shooting out into the lead, does Williams, and as soon as we get into the corner, it is Blake on the bottom line that takes the lead. So not much in the way of side drafting or front and back drafting either. They've got a 2.2 second gap to Blakely, Heath, and now Kelly Reid behind them, a third car joining that one. It looks like Ram Jam has picked himself up a drive-through. Nelson's still in the pit, so he's not come back out since meatball levels of damage. Not really surprised that his car got absolutely twisted. He might still be in there getting repaired.
He might honestly be.
It was a monster collision, yeah.
It was absolutely gigantic. I mean, he got essentially completely T-boned. I can't recall exactly who the car was that did it. It was a blue car. We'll try and find them out on track eventually, as Burling does now come out of the pits. But yeah, Nelson was sent partially into the air, then straight into the barrier. The car rotated round. It was a nasty accident, and at the moment, that's put Nelson right out of this race as we see the leaders continue on. Yes, next race of the calendar is, of course, next week. Same time, same place. And it is Iowa. That is where we're going next. Welcome in the chat. Ricky Won't Say, saying yo with some sunglasses and an OK symbol. Welcome in, my friend, to the chat. And yeah, John, don't want you to get too excited about Iowa just yet. We've got more laps of Charlotte to do. We've got another 56 laps to go, as we do see Potter on the bottom of the line there, the 882 car, just getting out of the way of the leaders as we see them scrape through the barrier. 6 laps to go before we hit halfway mark in this race. One pace car so far. That was for the Jordan Nelson incident. That, of course, has been rectified. We had the leader was Lucas Blake, who qualified in first position. Found himself picking up a pit lane speeding infringement. John, it's never worth it. We know it's not worth it. We see it in all kinds of racing. Every single driver trying to get that extra 1/1000th of a second out of their race.
Yeah, and to be fair to the drivers as well, as we've seen, the pit entrances here are not easy. Coming down off the bank and suddenly hitting that flat part of the course, it does make a very, very, very big difference indeed to the entry. And even these lines here, knowing when to cross them. I actually lost 16 positions in a race at Las Vegas because I didn't understand the pit entry system properly. Pitted too early in the lane, exactly what Lucas Blake has just done. So that's the level of talent I've got. I make the same mistakes as the great ones.
John, we have a pace
there's
car
a yellow
out.
flag.
Yeah, we do, and it does appear that it's Cliff Potter has had a accident. We will find a replay of that in a few moments' time, but the race now, ladies and gentlemen, is neutralized for the second time today. Always worried about what's happened to a driver on screen, so let's go and find out. Here's the replay coming up. Let's see. Oh, looks like he's lost a bit of control there, unfortunately. Hasn't picked up or collected anyone in the crash yet. Oh dear, he comes through the green cars. M&Ms go through, Lucas Blake goes through, and that's it. He does reset to the pits and starts to get that car repaired. So, a pretty big accident, just lost control. Rear didn't want to have any part of it, and the pace car is out.
Indeed, yeah. It is the nature of these courses. I did say at the start, I even said to George, and I mentioned at the start of the broadcast, I thought we might even see the odd yellow flag or two while the safety car is out, because keeping close, weaving back and forward, getting cars into position, and trying to, quite frankly, go as slow as the pace car around here, it's not the easiest. We see more cars catching back up. We've got Kelly Reid into the pit stop number 2. Coates, Hutchins, Lucas Blake. Lucas Blake won't get the Joker lap. He's missed out. That is going to go, I believe, to Coates. It's going to be Coates or Hutchins. Blake's too far back.
But that's...
So it's the lead car a lap down. And there we go.
Here we are. The procession begins. One by one, they file slowly into the pits, and they're going to change it out.
Let's talk about the intense battle on track now. The safety car leads 2 cars across the start-finish line as they are completely abandoned. The 2 cars out on track, and they both thinking to themselves, oh, it was at this point they knew they made the wrong decision.
They did indeed. We'll keep an eye on the pit lane out, because most of the field is now in the pit lane. No, that is not as a result of the incident. It just so happens that it coincided with the perfect time to go into the pits. So that is Kelly Reid.
Well, that's 20 laps they've done on their tyres.
Yeah.
And sorry to interrupt you there, but yeah, if you do the mathematics, we've got a safety car at 27, we've got a safety car at 47. The drivers, yeah, they're getting about 20 laps out of their tyres. We're going to expect, because we've seen you get 20 laps into a stint, you've got nothing on the back tyres unless you've ran 20 perfect laps to that point, and you just end up driving off the course. There's no rhyme or reason to it. The back end just says, no bueno. The barbecue you've got stashed in the back for later, not enough weight to keep me attached to the road, so I'm going to take you into the wall. So yeah, 20 laps out with the tyres, not too bad. And again, it's one of these things, George, when you're in a situation like this, you're going to be close at the restart. We've seen it in every single discipline of motorsport, whether it's Formula 1, GT3, NASCAR. If your competitor is coming in and going to get that tyre advantage, you have to follow in and get it as well, because you will get left behind here. 20 lap old tyres versus a set of fresh rubber. You are no place in a race like this.
Oh yeah, everyone suddenly becomes New Zealanders and becomes sheeps, essentially out on track. So they all follow the leader, and it makes sense. It makes sense to do so at the end of the day. Recap: we have Tom Williams in the lead at the moment. We have Bleakley 12 positions up in this race. Johnny's done incredibly well on the start. Then it is Mr. Blake, and I believe we just had a little bit of a moment there as we have a car unlap itself. Then it is Blake, of course, the brother of Lucas Blake, who's down in 11th, but his brother in 3rd position at the moment, and looking to crown himself the better of the 2 brothers in oval racing. I'm sure Lucas Blake won't be too happy about that. But with the reset now, he is a lap down, yes, but he's going to be in this train. What can he do? Tell us, from Luke Blake's perspective right now, John, what are his options?
He is currently, so he is in a very special driving position at the minute. He has both his elbows on the wheel, and he has his hands clasped above the wheel, and he is praying to the sim racing gods for another yellow flag before lap 60.
Oh,
okay,
there we go.
That is what he, yeah, and that is literally Lucas Blake's strategy. It's to pray for a safety car before 60 to 65 laps into the race to give him a chance, because that would then give him the Joker lap. That puts him back on the lead lap. If he does that early enough, He could be full, as I say, full days of thunder, looking to make his way through the field. As the safety car peels in, George, we've got 13 cars out on track. Potter and Nelson in the pits. Nelson still retiring, and there are the green, the flag waving furiously, no one overtaking. Of course, on that inside line, Hutchins going around the outside of Georgeson, though, and it is Williams leading the way. Bleakley up into second place. Here's me talking about Lewis Bahaja. Chris Bleakley held my beer and off he went. Don't drink and drive, by the way. That is merely an expression. Heath and Blake. Oh, Johnson and Clark swapping positions as well. They've all stayed very close. We can see Lucas Blake on the back of the field. Oh, and that is Cooks and Kelly Reid. And he's bounced off the wall. Oh, we've got another contact ahead. Have they both survived? They have indeed. Llewellyn. There's dropping a couple of positions there. Kelly Reid with a meatball flag. Another car guided into the pit lane, George, and even after the restart, it's one thing having old tyres, but actually trying to re-warm your tyres. I know they get tyre blankets in this, but still, they're not up to full temperature right away, and that is Kelly Reid in another meatball recipient. We're at the halfway mark. That's been 4 or 5 so far. That's yeah, just goes to show you how dangerous the walls are here.
Oh, absolutely. One small mistake, you're in the wall. One small mistake, you're spinning and potentially collecting other cars. It's the nature of the racing that we're engaging with today. By the way, anyone in chat who has any questions, if you're new to oval racing, if you're interested in getting involved, let us know. We'll talk you through why you should, and why you should certainly be tuning in and watching the races at the very least, just to get yourself a little bit of a taster, a little bit of an introduction to oval racing. It's absolutely fantastic stuff. 53 laps in, we find Tom Williams in the lead by 1.1 second. He's using those tyres to their absolute maximum out front. He is using the high line, so he's trying to save a little bit, but he clearly got the pace at the moment over Bleakley, Heath, Blake and Georgeson, who are all engaged in a mighty battle for second place at the moment.
Yeah, indeed they are. That is a mighty battle for second place, as you say. We've still got one Blake in the hunt. It is Boone, his brother, led the way at the start. Case dropped down to second, moved back up to first place, and he found himself with that pit lane violation. So Blake, but the thing is, Boone Blake still does have a teammate there, of course, Nicholas Heath. The two of them in the same team. Bleakley looking to fend them both off at the minute. He's made his way up 12 places. Since the start of the race. He's absolutely, but oh, that's what can happen. One car touches the wall, and that is Mr. Burns almost burning a few drivers there, and he is going to lose so many positions. That is Heath tumbling down the order himself. And I tell you what, George, having been around courses like this, I have to take my hat off to everyone involved in that minor incident there. For no one to end up in the wall is an absolute miracle. And what I think Lucas Blake was praying to happen didn't quite. He almost got his yellow flag there nice and early to get his joker lap. It didn't happen. His teammates thought, no, we'll keep driving. But yeah, phenomenal save there as Williams now 1.7 seconds up the road, and Boone Blake leading the way for the Blake family.
Oh,
and of
stuff.
course his team doing phenomenal just now, George.
Oh, they're absolutely in the right place at the right time. Amazing car control seen around this track today. It is absolutely fascinating stuff. I think the customary thing to say when Heath hits the wall is "boo earns," and of course he has boo earned his car, he's boo earned his tyres, and boo earned a bit of the barrier as well. A true Shadow Realm incident, we should say, as we see Blake bounce off the wall and head down the back straight. And we've got Georgeson in the running as well. No, that's Blake, in fact. He's one lap down, but he's holding in the slipstream of Bleakley at the moment and trying to keep up with this lead pack. This, if we got another safety car about now, and John, we've had about 3 incidents so far that could almost be classed as worthy of a pace car. If we get another one, Lucas Blake could be back in the running, but he's going to be able to work with his brother. He is right behind him now and coming down that main straight, and whether Bleakley wants to work with him or not is the question, but Georgeson's right there. He's not far behind. 1.2 seconds is the gap between them, and 1.7 the gap between Williams and Blake. Williams driving off into the sunset at the moment, or riding off into the sunset at the minute, but I tell you what, he is going to be caught at some point. 2 seconds now the gap Another person in chat is F1 Fix 85 saying, I'm interested in doing some racing, but I don't think I can race on Wednesday. Well, you are watching on Wednesday, but we hope that you can find your way into the series. Jump on into the Tasman Racing League area. Always come in for one. Give it a try. Dip your toes in. The coals aren't too hot, I tell you. Oscar Dobbins in chat as well. Welcome in. Did Buhajat finally get banned for the cheats? I don't know the history about that, but no, he's not here tonight. That's all we know.
Yes, full cheat codes. He definitely is at Daytona. Second in the oval and then first in the road race. Just absolute otherworldly performance. But yeah, no. So he's not. I was really looking forward to seeing him in this race. It would have been, yeah, a worthy inclusion, especially with Blake running down at the back of the field after that pit lane violation. Yeah, it would have been an absolute barn burner. Blakely is comfortably sitting in third place though. He's got himself onto the podium, and he is. Running very quickly indeed, 6/10 behind. We've got Coates, Heath and Llewellyn. Llewellyn back up to 6th place after a difficult race. Been into the pit stops himself. Whoa. For a bit of damage repair.
Be careful.
Take my breath away. Never, I'm never going to sing again, sorry. But yeah, no, it really does sometimes, doesn't it? These two, whoa, very close to one another indeed. A bit of side draft. Well, that is the brothers running side by side, isn't it? That's wild.
It is. You know, take your photo now, Blake family, because this is all looking quite fine at the moment, but we hope it doesn't come to blows. Tell us a little bit about the situation. We're seeing B. Blake diving off these walls more often than not. Is it an indication of tyres? Is he running the high line too much? Is he trying to save too much tyres?
Oh, I think he's maybe just being a bit overly generous to his brother's extra pace.
We learn more then.
He'll be
about
saving the tyres.
Yeah, we are learning more and more about the dynamics of the Blake brothers every lap.
At least in this race, Heath can't equip wets. This is very true. He equipped wets in the road race. That's right, I did see that. That was not the cleverest of moves. He wasn't happy about that. It was a difficult stint for him as well. I watched that race last Thursday. It was quite the fun time. Oh, and speaking of fun times, Blake has been overtaken. Blakely looking to make this an overall 2nd place. He was temporarily 2nd in the running under yellow flag. Boone Blake, is he doing a bit much in the way of tyre saving, or does he just not have pace at this phase of the race? Williams still the only driver to do a sub 30-second lap at the minute. Boone Blake's done a 30.014, so he's got very close indeed, but those fast laps early doors, that's not seen him, not held him in good stead at this phase of the race. He is hemorrhaging pace hand over fist, and that was a fairly easy overtake for Blakely there, all things considered. Didn't have to put in too much effort there. Sorry, Jordan, you go.
Well, I was just going to say, and having a look at these are the last lap times out there. Currently, Heath going very quick, or was certainly the last lap, 31.1 from him. Georgeson also going very, very quickly, as is Blakely. So these 0.3s that we're seeing on the board, John, looking very, very ferocious. And Lucas Blake doing 31.1s relatively consistently. 0.2 of a second a lap. I mean, it counts, doesn't it?
Oh, it really does. It absolutely does. It certainly builds up, especially with the number of laps that we go through so quickly. That's already 66 laps in, so we are fast approaching the time in the race where Lucas Blake's, well, his time is running out. It's not approaching a time in the race. His time is running out to get the yellow flag he needs to get him back onto the last lap. I reckon he's got until maybe lap 75. If we don't see a yellow flag before then, I do think it's going to be nigh on impossible. In the last 10 laps, I don't think he'll have time, even at that pace, to make his way through. So he is doing exactly what he needs to do. He is the fastest car out on track at the moment. He just needs to pray that someone else loses their way, has themselves a bit of a dent in the wall. You see those yellow flashing lights up at the front of the field. Certainly won't be right at the front of the field anytime soon. Oh no, I've just looked. The gap between Williams and Blakely is just stopped falling. It is falling once again. Oh, and it is down to a second. So yeah, Williams is losing tyre. That's 20 laps he's done. Again, George, there we go. That's no, it's not. It's 20. That's 18 laps.
We can.
Yeah, I think we can. It's about 18 laps. Yeah.
I think we can bring this up. Let's see if we can bring up some information. The pit lap was lap 47 for all of them. So do the math in your head. That's 21 laps that he's been on the tyre. But he's been pushing hard. I mean, he made that, we made that 2-second gap. But towards this point of the stint, he's now losing hand over fist at the moment. That's Lucas Blake behind him, by the way, who is going to be trying to unlap himself from Tom Williams. Just goes to show Lucas Blake's pace at the moment. He is a NASCAR fanatic. He's an oval racing fanatic. He's got an American accent, and he's fast at this track, and he's a former winner here.
Yeah, indeed, and you can exactly see why. And
Whoa!
So here, that's how quick he.
Oh, Tom
I was
Williams.
talking about him needing the yellow flag. He doesn't. He just needs to be left to run his race, and he is going quicker. He's going to naturally unlap himself against the race leader.
But this is the key thing, John. Look who's right behind him. Bleakley's right there. He's been brought along with Lucas Blake. So this is not just an unlap. This is the battle for P1 happening right in front of us.
It is indeed, yeah, and it does make it an interesting situation for Lucas Blake. He will eventually need to yield to the car behind. He is pulling him through as well, so he's effectively, he's got a say in the battle for the lead of the race right now, and he is down in 10th position, and it can all play into his hands as we see another blue flag, and there we go. Blake's used the traffic beautifully, and so has Blakely. And Williams has just moved over there. He's been caught out by the back marker. He's moved over behind him. I'm not sure if he was losing so much time on his tyres. He's decided to back out with that there. He did seem to pull him behind. Oh, Burling's just been done for speeding in the pit lane. Down in 12th place. That's going to be a drive-through there. Clark trying to go past Johnson for 4th. Clark and Johnson trading positions on the bench, but it's Blakely and Williams that are now looking to trade positions for the lead of the race, and they are being pulled along by Lucas Blake, who will temporarily be on the same line. So as soon as Lucas crosses the line, he's on the lead lap, but then the leaders are right behind him. So he'll go instantly back a lap down again. So he's got himself a lap. Here we go. It'll be an interesting situation across there. We go. It'll go to normal lap. And in fact, yeah, it doesn't even register because he is only just in front. He doesn't even register. Boone Blake running an absolute blinder. 2.4 seconds down, but still holding that gap to Clarkson, so looking good in that podium position as we're approaching 75 laps, and we're seeing more cars coming at the pits. There is Ramjam Potter, Chris Potter coming in and out of the pits, burling in to serve that drive-through after taking that pit stop. Lucas Blake still praying for that safety car. It's getting very close to the point in time where he is going to be past the point of no return. If it goes too far into the race for the safety car, he obviously won't have enough time, even with the pace he's showing, to catch up and get himself at least back onto the podium. Blakely and Williams, it looks like they're more than happy just to hang along behind. Williams staying within 0.5 of a second, so at the minute it's who flinches first. Oh, and it might need to be Williams, the back of that car, stepping out again, George. The drivers at this point in time, it's who can hold on longest for the pace car, or do you have to pull the trigger and get in the fresh tyres? Because as we've just seen with Williams, and we've seen throughout the race, when the back end goes, the back end goes.
Well, and you're not going to feel it, you know, especially when you're getting closer and closer to the cars ahead. You're going to have that dirty air. You're not going to feel that rear end start to step out. So it's really all about the feel on the wheel. You've got to look at the angle of attack and how your understeer and oversteer is actually being managed, as Bleakley does manage to miss the wall there, still being held up a little bit by Lucas Blake. I don't want to say held up. It's not held up. He's being helped out by Lucas Blake. But, yeah, Tom is just looking uncomfortable at the moment. But probably, correct me if I'm wrong, John, but probably about 3 or 4 more laps until any more pit stops would be done to get off this set of tyres, get onto a fresh one for the end of the race. We're expecting one more pit stop, I'm assuming.
Absolutely, 100 million %, yes. There will be another pit stop. Drivers, yeah, if we don't see another safety car, I reckon it's probably going to be about lap 80. Give themselves a nice fresh set of boots, because there's no way we're doing 41 laps on a set of tyres around here. What was the track temperature at? 27 degrees?
Well, let's do a double check. We can bring up the weather, so our broadcasting guys will do that for us. And it is 22 on track by the looks of it. 27 ambient, I think.
Ooh. Oh no, sorry, at the bottom, there you go, 31 degree track temperature.
Oh, certainly is. Yes, certainly is.
Yeah. So 31 degrees, yeah, so the tyres are going to be cozy. So yeah, doing 40 laps around here, yeah, you could do it theoretically. You won't be going very quickly. You won't be winning any, breaking any sound barriers or getting any purple laps, but you could make it to the end. But no, I do think we will see, we will see another round of pit stops. Getting very close back in the midfield as well. Clark got Johnson, Heath, Llewellyn, Coates, all very close to him as well, just outside that podium battle. As we can see, Llewellyn looking to get himself back up to 6th place. He's got Heath, who performed absolute miracles to keep it out of the barrier earlier, dropped 6 or 7 places.
There's a problem for Tom Williams.
Comeback.
There is a problem for Tom Williams. I have not seen anything come up on my screens, but he has dropped massively off the pace, and he's been overtaken by one car after another. There goes Heath, and that is a big problem for Tom Williams out on track. The rear end's looking not good, and I wonder if he's hit the barrier.
Yeah, absolutely. I think he's had exactly the same incident that we were just talking about with Heath. Yeah, he's coming in the pits. His tyres have gone.
Oh.
His tyres have gone.
Well,
yeah.
it is at lap 80.
Yeah,
it is at lap 80, but a little bit of a dicey moment on entry to the pits as he comes across George Wadeson there. So, sorry, Georgeson, I should say. Excuse me, ladies and gentlemen. I'm getting so excited about the oval racing that I'm starting to mispronounce names yet again. So fascinating there for Tom Williams. It'll be nice for him to get back out on the fresh tyre, but obviously that means he's at a deficit to the remainder of the field.
He is indeed, yeah. We'll see, although another yellow flag, everyone. Yeah, he needs to get back at the pits as quickly as possible. And Georgeson, I did actually look when you said Wadeson there, I was like, huh?
Wades.
Don't remember that guy in the race. No, Georgeson has come back out just behind Williams. It is behind Jay Hutchins, leading the way out with the Hutchins brothers. Of course, it's Boone Blake leading the way out with the Blake brothers. We can see Coates right on the back all the way, and Heath there. We were just saying what a difficult race he'd had. That one mistake dropped him down the field. Someone else makes a mistake. He's suddenly back up to 4th. Couple of pit stops later. We'll see what happens. Blakely and Blake doing absolute wonders on those tyres up at the front. But you can see now the gap between the top two is at 5 seconds. So the lap times are absolutely tumbling now. That's Lucas Blake, one of the quickest drivers out on track. Just on a near 33 second. Oh no, he's not. My apologies. 31.9. That's still dropping 0.8 of a second. It was a driver ahead, but yeah, someone there will go now. Boone Blake, 32.4 for Clark. So there is what happens to your tyres after 23 laps. You'd start to lose about 2 seconds. There's Blakely leading the way. He's managed a 32.1. Which is only 2 tenths slower than Blake. So that just goes to show you how much the tyre wear can affect your top speed and your laps around here, Josh. 32.2 seconds is now their lap times.
Well, exactly. And of course, as we know, fastest lap of the race on their running screens right now in purple, 29.952. Most of the guys have been in the low 30s. Blake got very, very close to that glorious 29 number. So you can see we're running upwards of 2.5 seconds slower at the moment based on these tyres. It's a wonder actually that they don't decide to come into the pits right now, get out of the way. I think a lot of them are probably hoping for another pace car to come out. And it's jeopardy right
absolutely.
now.
Absolutely, 100 million%, George. Welcome to the mathematical, hypothetical chaos theory nightmare that is oval racing. You're damned if you do, you're damned if you don't.
It sounds a lot like how I treat my road racing. Maybe I'd be half okay at this kind of racing.
Yeah.
I think those tyres will last another 20 laps. Go on, let's try it. Pop the tyre.
Pops the tyre, exactly. Yeah, watch this bad boy burst all up the walls. F1 Fix, I didn't know Jason and Daniel were brothers. Indeed, yes, Jason and Daniel Hutchins, they are brothers. Lucas and Boone Blake are brothers, and Williams, his brother is in the series but isn't racing tonight. So we've actually got 3 sets of brothers in the series, which is pretty cool. Tom Williams for Phantom Sim Sports, his brother Jared in the team as well. Not racing tonight, but again, yeah, if he was, that would be 3 sets of brothers out on track. That is, I'm not sure we could handle that much sibling rivalry in one race. It would be interesting.
Oh, it'd be fascinating. And again, we learn more about the dynamics of these brothers and how they work out on track, and if they're in, comms together, and they're trying to figure out the race and get themselves into a good position. Right now, the Blakes are doing the best job out of that. Hutchins in 7th. That's J. Hutchins, then D. Hutchins in 11th position at the moment. This is an almighty scrap going on at the moment. I believe this is the battle for 4th position. In fact, it might be 3rd position. It is, because Heath is only 0.7 of a second up the road. We've had Birling come into the pits, and Llewellyn and Clark in the fight now. They want to get up there onto the podium today. F1 Fix 85 saying he's good friends with Jason. There you go. Do you know his brother? You might know him a little bit better, or certainly the dynamics between them after some more oval racing. So make sure you stay tuned here on TrackSpotTV for the Tasman Racing League Oval Series. Season 1 kicked off with a bang at Daytona. We're here at Charlotte. It's the 89th lap out of 100. And here we go into the 90th in a few moments' time. Clark is right there, and he is pushing Llewellyn up the road.
He is, yeah. Another thing to keep an eye on, Williams and Georgeson, they're both lapping in the 30s since they've come out on fresher tyres. So they've got about a 1.5 second advantage per lap over the rest of the field. I think at this stage, though, I do think the rest of the field are going to try and run and gun it to the end. They'll maybe come in for a set of tyres with 5 laps to go. I mean, is it even worth it at that point? It's going to be, know when to hold them and know when to fold them. I genuinely didn't think we'd be seeing drivers getting 40 laps out of a set of tyres, but they're certainly looking to do so. The pace difference is clear to see, but with the 32.2, the average time in the top 6, has Williams gambled. Oh wow, he's just done a 30.3. Wow. 2 seconds quicker than the top 5.
Oh, wow.
On that previous lap. So there you go, George. That just highlights it perfectly.
Well, let's put the gap up and let's have a little look at the overall distance. Obviously, we've got Williams 1 lap down, but that's only about 29 seconds. So 15 laps, he's not going to make it at that pace. He needs to go even faster than that if he possibly can. At the very least, he'll probably be able to make it all the way up to the 91 car, Hutchins, and maybe overtake Cooke. So he's going to try and scrape back whatever he can from this race. 8th position at the moment for our former race leader. Of course, Lucas Blake as well, 1 lap down, but only doing 32.2s. He hasn't come into the pits for an extra set of tyres. So Blake is not looking like he's going to be much outside of the bottom of the top 10. As the 707 goes for an inside move there on the 777. Great start. It's an unlap from Georgeson on the 777. Very, very close as he tries to find another. He's got fresh tyres. He's going for it at the moment. Scary, though. This could bring out the pace car. We're in jeopardy again, John.
Boone Blake in the pits.
Oh, huge.
Boone Blake in the pits from 2nd place. 8 laps to go, coming in for fresh tyres.
He couldn't hold on. He couldn't hold on. It elevates Heath up into 2nd position, the number 10 car, who we saw in the battles at Daytona. Not able to fight his way up to the podium that time out, but now he's sitting there in 2nd. Behind him is Georgeson. He's going to unlap himself as well because he's on fresher tyres. And then it's Llewellyn, only a 2nd behind him. So what's the state of Heath's tyres? Is he going fast enough out there at the moment to hold off the attack? I think he is. 32.3s. It's got to be enough.
And Boone Blake comes out of the pits in 9th position behind Williams and Georgeson, who both pitted. The undercut has worked beautifully. That puts Williams back up to 7th. What can Blakely do now? He's holding 32.4 second laps. Heath behind him, 32.4, 32.3. Llewellyn, 32.4. So they're all lapping at the same pace. Hutchins is doing 33.4s at the moment. With Williams, as we can see, the lead driver to have taken 2 stops. But yeah, Hutchins ahead of him, 32.8. So that is 2 seconds, 2.7, almost 3 seconds slower than Williams and Georgeson at the moment. Can Boone Blake find his way back up to 8th, 9th? And is Blakely about to do 14th to 1st on 40 lap old tyres?
Oh, there we go.
It's just mind-blowing.
13 positions up. Heath, 6 positions up. Llewellyn, 4 positions up. Clark, 1 position up. Cooke, 4. Hutchins, 5. So you can see the ones who have not benefited from today's race. That's Williams, Georgeson, and the Blake brothers at the moment. So huge, huge situation for Blakely. 10 seconds is the gap between him and second place. He's going to have a third position to his name out at Daytona for round 1. He may be finishing with the trophy here today at Charlotte. It's been a good race for him so far. Clark is right on the back of the 45 of Llewellyn. This is the battle for third position at the moment.
Indeed it is, yeah. Jason might, I mean, it depends if they can stay out on track. If Hutchins can stay out and the rest of them all come in, then yes, certainly. But at the minute it is Blake and Clark are battling away for that final podium position. Blakely leading the way after making it up 13 positions. They've actually got Boone Blake just out of the pits on fresh tyres, trying to make his way back onto the lead lap. Oh, and at this point, and I tell you what, he's almost touched the wall there. That is very close indeed. But that is Clark now dropping even more pace. Well, 32.3. I tell you what, Blakely's done a phenomenal job on those tyres.
Look at this. Heath in trouble. He's in second place at the moment. There's Llewellyn and Clark right next to him. They're separated by less than 0.3 of a second on track. We're on the 98th lap. Only a minute or so to go in the race. And this is Llewellyn's chance to find a second position. It'll be his first of the season. Of course, Heath looking for that as well, as is Clark. All three of them not been on the podium yet. Only Bleakley currently in the top 3. He's been on the podium, of course, last round, and Heath is looking like he's struggling on entry a little bit there.
Yeah, he is indeed 0.3 a lap slower, 0.3 slower than he was than his competitors, who are working well together. This is going to be an interesting final lap. Bleakley with a 10-second lead over the rest of the field. Boone Blake is going to finish ahead of his brother Lucas. It's going to be Jason Hutchins that finishes ahead of his brother as well, but it is Bleakley, as I say, with a 10-second gap going to come across the line and bring the tyres are starting to fall. Yep, they definitely are starting to fall. Now, I did not think they would get this many laps. I mean, the pace has certainly dropped off massively, as you expect. Llewellyn and Clark, the camera's struggling to keep up because they're moving so quickly.
Something odd is very much happening at the moment. We will try and get this fixed, so wait for us. We will get this sorted out. Something very odd is going on, but we will be back in a few moments' time. Something has completely stopped working. There we go. We are back. Bleakley is still in the lead, so Llewellyn momentarily out of this race. Something very odd going on with the telemetry at the moment, but I believe it is going to be Bleakley across the line. He has finished the race. There we go, and we'll go over to the flag stand and see this battle finished out. It is going to be Heath ahead of Clark. Llewellyn somehow has had some issue and has disappeared from this battle and from the podium. He's popping in and out of existence at the moment. What did we say last time? Schrodinger's NASCAR. That's certainly happening today as we see more cars come across the line. Checkered flag is out, and that is, of course, 100 laps done at Charlotte. Interesting way to end the race there, but we do have our full results now available. Give us a moment, and we will jump back and give you the full results as it all panned out. Absolutely fascinating stuff.
Indeed, yeah, what a race it was. We'll get those results up, George. What a grandstand end. Absolute grandstand end.
Absolutely. We are missing a couple of results there. We will... there we go. That looks a little bit better. My goodness. Interesting technical glitches here today. We'll get those ironed out, of course, for next time, as well as the track map, which wasn't available today either at Charlotte. But run us through these results as we get ourselves prepared for the interviews on the top 3 as well.
Will do, yeah. Chris Bleakley, what a race. Started in 14th, finished in 1st. Incredible stuff for 1-9 Racing. Second place, Nicholas Heath, with an incredible podium. 10 seconds down, but only a 10 end to the race that was. Ryan Llewellyn for Black Cobra Motorsports has been given 5th place behind Damien Coates, so not sure what happened there. Jason Hutchins is 6th. Tom Williams in 7th. Wade Georgeson, of course, well-known brother of George Wadeson, in 8th position. Boone and Lucas Blake rounding out the top 10 for the Wright rear racing team. And it is Boone who finishes ahead of one of the race favourites, Lucas. That is going to make an interesting evening meal tonight. We've got Daniel Hutchins in 11th. Nick Burling finishing 28 laps down. He didn't finish the race, unfortunately. Cliff Potter, Jack Kelly-Reid and Jordan Nelson all following the same route into the pits. And it's finding out the hardest of hard ways that Charlotte Oval is, it's not as easy as it may seem on the surface. That is for absolutely sure, George.
Yeah, that is right. Well, a fascinating race here today. Lots of privateers showing up for round 2, and we're going to have a whole bunch more people coming back to us in short order. We'll begin our interviews in a few moments' time, as we do have our top 3 jumping in. So it will be Kelvin Clark first, then Nicholas Heath, and then Chris Bleakley. We'll get set up for that, and we'll get this all going. John, give us a little recap of that race. Couple of safety cars, but not quite, or pace cars, I should say. Not quite as many as we maybe expected with the high banking here.
Indeed, yeah, we saw as the tyres were the main factor in this. It did say at the start the drivers are going to be doing a fair bit of tyre saving to try and stretch out their stints, potentially as long as possible, but we would see a spattering of safety cars. Certainly the 3 in the first half did look like we were going to get a couple more towards the end, but the drivers really did get to grips with the amount of grip that they had, and managed to bring themselves home some very, very good results. It certainly holds us in good stead for Iowa next time out, but a big difference in this to Daytona last week, and yeah, a very differing set of results and strategies.
Certainly is. Let's bring in Kelvin Clark on the radio. Kelvin, welcome in to chat, and I tell you, congratulations on 3rd place. It was looking a little bit here and there, felt like you came out of the woodwork somewhat. Give us a rundown of your race from your perspective at Charlotte.
Yeah, hey guys, how you going? That's exactly how it felt. Tough on tyres, but yeah, it was good.
Excellent. So obviously the 777 car, you were working together with a number of drivers out there. You probably saw Heath off in the distance, getting slower and slower and slower towards the end of the race. Were your tyres also dropping off? And did you see a potential P2 there?
Tyres were pretty good, but I was fuel. I was like, yeah, had to save a little bit to get to the end on fuel. And I think Ryan was in front of me. I think he might have had a bit of an internet issue right at the end there.
Yeah, it did seem like we had some sort of internet issue there. Llewellyn, of course, seemed to pop out of existence. We've coined the term Schrodinger's NASCAR, and actually we're seeing that on your replay right now as the 45 pops in and out of existence right in front of you.
Yeah, tough on him, but good for me, I guess.
Absolutely right. I'll give you to John for some more questions.
Indeed, yeah. I was talking about the tyres. You were talking about the fuel as well. How many laps were you looking to get out of the tyres themselves, and how did you feel that the safety cars were? Were you expecting more with it being such a difficult track?
I thought there might have been, but it was pretty good. We only had the 2, and then I think it was a 50-lap green run, which was good. Like I said, my tyres were good, but I only had I think it was 0.2 of a litre left on fuel, so if there was a caution at the end there, it would have been interesting.
Yes, and by interesting, you mean dead slow and stop. It's a good result. Nice podium in the series, nice and early in the series. We were at Daytona last week, a majestic 2.5 miles long. We've got 1.5 miles this week. We've got 0.8 of a mile next week, Kelvin. How are you feeling ahead of Iowa?
Yeah, I think it'll be all right. We'll see how we go.
Yeah, a bit more fuel in the tank just in case.
Well, yeah, I might not leave it so close next time.
Yeah, definitely better safe than sorry. Definitely better safe than sorry. But yeah, Kelvin, phenomenal race tonight. Very quick, fastest lap as well, 30.6. So right in the mix. Had a fair bit of this and that to contend with, but an absolutely solid podium in round number 2, Kelvin. So congratulations.
Yeah, thanks, guys.
Thanks very much. All right, that, ladies and gentlemen, of course, was Kelvin Clark, 3rd place out at Charlotte this week. And now we're going to bring in Nicholas Heath. Nicholas, welcome in. I think we do have your replay coming up in a moment. We do indeed. With the Boo-Earns, we saw a couple of Boo-Earns on the, or scrapes, we should say, on the barrier. That is for sure a livery we won't forget at all. Congratulations on P2. How you doing?
Yeah, good. Thanks for that. Compared to the disaster that was Daytona last week, I'm pleasantly surprised how this one has turned out, considering I kind of half lost it out of turn 4 with, I don't know, 25, 30 laps or something left to go, and dropping down to 8th, and then having to, I think, fuel save for like the last 20 or so, just like massive lift and coasts everywhere to just have like 0.1, I think, left on the line. I ran out just as I crossed the line, so pretty tight at the end.
Yeah, no doubt. And you obviously had Llewellyn, who had some disconnect issues just right at the end, and of course Kelvin Clark firing their way up to your rear bumper. Talk us through your sort of mindset when you realized that, okay, maybe this ain't going to work out.
Well, I think for the first, up until I had that kind of half spin, I was kind of keeping pace with Chris, who ended up in P1, so I was able to kind of stay in a rhythm for most of the race until the car just kind of let go on me, and I thought it was all over and on for another bad result. But yeah, it was really tight on fuel at the end, so it was driving much slower than I wanted to, but it was just enough in the end, so I'm happy with that.
Yeah, executed the strategy really well. Congratulations from myself on second place. I'll give you to John for some more questions.
Cheers.
Yeah, that was quite the race. As you say, you looked like you could have been out with the run there, down at 8th position. When you came into the race, what sort of finishing position were you looking at yourself, like looking at the rest of the field? And how did you feel your chances of recovery were when you did drop back down to 8th there? Because, yeah, a little simple mistake on the exit, not even a mistake, the back end goes and suddenly you've got no momentum and 7-8 cars go whizzing past.
I was, heart in the mouth kind of situation. I was just trying to slow down and hold it whilst not being collected by anyone or, taking it into the wall. And then it was just, frustration of just having to just try and get to the end, because I think from the outset I was just trying to maybe sneak a, 5th or 6th or something like that to kind of get back on track. But I didn't expect to end up on the podium, let alone second after what happened, and then fuel saving for like a quarter of the race every lap to the end. So yeah, stressful times.
It doesn't. Yeah, I'm converting George slowly but surely to oval racing. He doesn't have much experience. He'll be the first to admit with oval racing before this series. Really, he's more of a track racer. It doesn't make him a bad person, but yeah, he's certainly finding out exactly what it's like. And it sounds like for tonight, Nicholas, it was just an all-round race for you. We had the highs, we had the lows, and then you bring home the podium. I'll hold you in good stead for next week.
Well, I'm not going to jump to conclusions too quickly, but we'll see. I might have to do a couple of practice laps just to get up to speed with the track, because I don't think I've ever raced at it. So every week's a new week.
Nice. Well, I can assure you, having driven Iowa myself, get some practice in. Lots of it. Quickly. It is very short and very interesting. But yeah, congratulations. Yeah, it's one of them. It's absolutely one of them, Nicholas. So yeah, I cannot wait for to see you next week. But before then, of course, we can bask in the glory of a podium and some good championship points early on, which is not too bad. So yeah, congratulations again, Nicholas, at second place here at Charlotte.
Much appreciated. Cheers.
Thanks very much, ladies and gentlemen. Nicholas, he's second position today. And now we move on to our winner of the race. It is Chris Bleakley for 19 Racing. Chris, welcome into the commentary box, mate. You are our first double podium finisher of the season. You got third position at Daytona. You're now a race winner in season 1 of the Oval Series here at Tasman Racing League. Talk us through it. You must be on cloud 9 at the moment.
Oh, yeah. No, it was a very good race. Worked out pretty well. I was hoping that it didn't go for another caution in that last stint. Long runs is my, I wouldn't say bread and butter maybe. I prefer longer runs than the shorter ones. So I didn't make it easy for myself when I muffed up qualifying and didn't get a lap in. So I had to start off the back row. So didn't make it easy for myself, but I just played the long game, and tyres was the big thing really. Around any mile and a half, tyres was the big thing. So I think they were pulling at the start of each stint. They were maybe half a second faster than me, and I probably could have matched them pace-wise, but I knew they'd come back to me. And those first 2 cautions, I was reeling them in as they came out. I'm like, oh, damn it. And then that last stint, I started reeling them in and got past Tom, and I was like, okay, like, no caution, because this is it. I'll just go with it now. And yeah, I didn't expect to get a almost 11-second lead there at the end, but yeah, it was just all tyre management.
Yeah, you executed it beautifully, of course, and I think you might be one of the only drivers on the track that wasn't hoping for a caution right at the end. Llewellyn nearly gave us that with the interesting netcode stuff that happened just at the end of the race, just as you were coming across the line, in fact. So looking forward now to Iowa, a track you're familiar with, a track that you like?
Yeah. I've done a bit of racing at Iowa. Yeah, not heaps, but enough. But anything 1.5 miles and shorter, I like. Like, I don't mind the super speedways; they are fun. But not so much in a truck, but other cars. It just doesn't. It requires skill, but it's a certain skill, and it's not really. I'm not that great at it, really. It's just whether you can hang on the longest, pretty much, at a super speedway, where 1.5 miles and short tracks, it's really down to how you drive the car, more than holding it flat and holding on, closing your eyes. So, yeah, I'm keen. Yeah, we go to some interesting tracks this time. And if you think Iowa's going to be short and interesting, I'd like to see what you think about Martinsville later in the season.
I was going to say you've got a growing fandom here in John Wright. Every word you spoke there, I think he was hanging off every single one.
Oh, I'm getting it tattooed on my arm at the end of the broadcast. That's how. That's exactly what you're. And obviously, Chris, you'll be now getting your middle name changed to Chris the Destroyer Blakely, and be demanding that everyone stand up when you enter the drivers' chat and the races from now on. I mean, 13th place to first. Hold my beer. Let's crack on. That's absolutely a drive, mate. Spot on with the strategy. And yeah, I'm just absolutely blown away. And apologies for overlooking you at the start of the stream when I was asked who I thought was going to win the race. I actually predicted a race winner that didn't even race tonight, so it shows how much I know as a commentator. Thank you for putting me in my place, and thank you for a phenomenal race tonight.
Oh, no, that's okay. You know, I suppose when you're looking at the qualifying order and you see me down the back, you go, oh, you know, you tend to not want to look at the people at the back and think, yeah, they're going to win, because it's not really that easy to come through the field. But when the field spreads out, like in that first stint, I think by the time I got through most of the field into 5th, I think the guys up front were 6 seconds in front, and I got them down to 3 or 4 before the first caution. But it's still a long way to catch up, you know. So that first caution was really the one that saved me a little bit, and then the rest of them was sort of a bit annoying. I wanted to go longer and maybe even have a green flag stop would have been the go, I reckon. But no, it was still a great race, and it's still good to see only 2 cautions, really. Like, you don't really want heaps of cautions, but you know, you also don't want them to fall basically at the end of a stint. You know, let people off the hook if they've burnt their tyres a bit too much. You know what I mean? So.
Yes, I'm very much one of those. With the lack of talent I have, I heavily rely on the opposite strategy to you talented drivers, so I'm very much looking for cautions to get myself across the line. But no, Chris, phenomenal drive, back-to-back podiums. And I'll have to ask, I've jumped all over George's half of the interview anyway, but I'll have to ask, are we going to see another podium at Iowa? We're going 3 for 3?
I hope so, but I'm not here to dilly-dally. I really want to get in and, you know, go for gold pretty well. Famous quote, probably from one of the greatest people of all time: if you're not first, you're last. Good old Ricky Bobby. So, yeah, if it's on the table, I'm going for it. So that's pretty well it, you know. I was really hoping to qualify pole. You know, I wanted to get both pole and the win, but yeah, the old wall gave me a bit of a hug in qualifying and said, "Settle down, son." So I had to temper my expectations in qualifying then, and then just go long in the race.
I love Australian interviews. That's twice now we've had Ricky Bobby mentioned, and it's just the perfect source. The perfect source. But yeah, Chris, love to hear these words of confidence and courage going into next week. You need to be a bit more demanding. I am Chris Blakely. I will be bringing home the win after that. But yeah, congratulations, Chris, and I will let George send you off to victory lane.
Thanks, mate. Have a good one.
Right, ladies and gentlemen, Chris Bleakley, thank you very much for jumping into the commentary box. All our interviewees today. Congratulations to our podium winners. For those not on the podium, there's always next week at Iowa where it's going to be short, sharp, and very, very fun to go racing. So, John, we look forward to this Iowa race. You've told me a few things about it. But the question is going to be, is it going to produce the kind of racing that we are expecting? Is it going to produce the kind of racing that we want to see here at the Oval race? I think I might know the answer to this one, but let's hear it from your perspective.
Yeah, absolutely. What we're going to see next week is this week's race magnified. Just everything magnified. The tyre saving, the fuel saving, the side-by-sides, the side drafting. You're going to see drivers popping in and out. With it being such a short course as well, let's not underestimate just how quickly the race leaders will catch up to the drivers ahead. And again, this plays into the tyres. If you imagine this here, the drivers, there was about a 2.5, almost 3 second difference in lap times between fresh and worn tyres. And that was a lap that's 29-30 seconds long. Next week's lap is going to be someplace in the region of 20 seconds. So the cars, they're going to be on top of one another, on top of one another, on top of one another. And it's got an incredible amount of banking at Iowa as well. So it really does mean picking the right line through every corner at every phase of the race is going to be absolutely vital, and it is going to be an absolute nail-biter from the very first lap right down to the last. I can tell you that for free.
Fantastic. Well, here are your race results. Final time will show it tonight. Season schedule is refusing to come up on screen, but of course join us next week as we head to round 3 in the Oval Series here at Tasman Racing League. Will Bleakley continue his run of good form? He'll be in the lead of the championship with Damien, of course, falling from the grace of P1 all the way down. Results available on simracerhub.com. Go and type in Tasman Racing League or join the Discord as well. Jump on in. Oval racing is for everyone. It's super exciting. It's been great to see the first couple of rounds go off with such a big bang. From our perspective here in the commentary box, my name is George Cooke. I've been joined by John Wright. We're here on behalf of TrackSpotTV, bringing you today's broadcast. Check us out on www.TrackSpotTV. A big thanks, of course, to Lucas Blake. John, some final words. Do you have any inspiring quotes to leave us with before we head out?
I wish I had some Ricky Bobby on demand, but I do wake up every morning and piss excellence, so that's probably enough. No, thank you to everyone that's tuned in. Thank you to everyone at Tasman Racing League for putting this on. And yeah, we've got the link in the Discord chat. Get yourself out onto the ovals. It is so much fun getting involved, and this is a great place to race. And if it's not ovals, if the ovals aren't your thing, Tasman have got you covered as well for track racing if you're that way inclined. Again, doesn't make you a bad person. Of course, big thank you to TrackSpotTV and George. Myself absolutely love getting front row seats to these races, and I cannot wait to see how the rest of the season plays out. Chris Bleakley looking good for champion. We shall see.
Yeah. We shall see. There's a gold medal hanging off there in the distance. We are 2 rounds into a 10-round season. We'll see you next time out. Same place, same time. Until then, have a great week, and we'll see you then. Bye-bye.